three times the charm, is that they remind us that behind every single strategy, every program and every initiative are people making a real difference in their communities, and that's exactly where we're going to start this morning. Please join me in welcoming Karen Laurie from Sport New Zealand to kick things off for this morning. Thanks so much, Karen.
Very bright up here. Kia ora koutou, nā mai haere mai, and welcome to this very exciting session where we get to actually hear from the very inspiring recognition of the inspiring stuff that we did celebrate last night. Ko Karen Laurie, tōku wingwa, no te tai taukarau aho, te tamariki lead mo iki Aotearoa Sport New Zealand. And it is an absolute honour and a pleasure to be here and host this session with my colleague Wiramu Mato, who will be coming up shortly, where we actually are going to hear from a selection of our finalists. We have six of the finalists who are going to come up and share the stories. Last night we recognised excellence, but this morning is actually about understanding that excellence, what sits in behind it. So it's a chance to learn. Now, we only have 7 minutes per finalist, so there won't be time for questions, but I know that they will really welcome the opportunity to speak to you after the session here. We are going to start with the Community Impact Award, and in the Community Impact Award, the mahi is what is happening in that, sort of what's being recognised there, is what's making a huge difference on the ground for our tamariki, our rangatahi, and our communities. What's happening in terms of physical activity enabling those young people to thrive. And we are going to hear from 2 finalists in that category. First, I'd like to invite New Zealand Rugby's Emily Davidson to the stage, and she's going to share her story around some of the incredible work they're doing to keep young women in the sport.
Kia ora koutou, ke whutaporo Aotearoa aho I mahi ana, ko Davidson tōku whānau, ko Emily tōku ingoa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. My name is Emily, I work for New Zealand Rugby, I'm the head of Women and Girls Community Rugby, and today I get to talk to you about Contact Ready. So Contact Ready is our first ever national introductory program for teenage girls. This is designed to build the confidence, the capability and safety of girls when they're transitioning into contact versions of our game. And it has been a truly collaborative project. We've worked with provincial unions, coaches, and teenage girls themselves to design this piece of work. And it's ran through a year-long co-design process, a pilot, and now a national rollout. We have a little video for you.
This is Contact Ready.
Contact Ready is a program that helps girls how to tackle, be contact ready, and land confidently and safely.
To see that they're having heaps of fun, learning new skills and getting more confident playing rugby. Younger self would have loved to be a part of this program, learning how to play rugby safely while still having fun with my friends and learning new stuff.
This is the best way to get into rugby for girls. Playing with your mates, doing it together and just having so much fun.
I've loved meeting new friends, new people. The coaches have been awesome.
I learned a bunch of skills to help me tackle properly. More things like same shoulder, same leg, and how to fall properly to prevent any injuries.
Skills.
Confidence?
Mates.
You in?
So we made Contact Ready because of 3 key challenges, and the first one was our current learn model. So Small Blacks is great for 5 to 12-year-olds, but girls are not participating the same as boys. We are seeing heaps of new players come in at the age of 13, and they have not got the same skills that the others have built up over time. And this is when rugby is full field, full contact. So we wanted to ensure that we could provide a place where girls could learn with those of similar abilities. For context, half of our 13-year-olds last year were new, half of them, and 14 and 15-year-olds is where we see our poorest retention. Secondly was player safety. So like many of you, we are seeing high volumes of ACC claims for knees and ankles, but also concussions. And actually we see more concussion claims from girls. And our injury surveillance data shows us that there is less evidence of safe and confident tackling in the girls' game, and this is where most concussions are occurring. Thirdly, we've skipped. Thirdly is coaching. So coaching remains top 10 barriers for women and girls to participate in rugby, but conversely, coaches are telling us really hard to coach. We've got such a vast ability of players and we're really, really struggling to give them the time and dedication that they need. So we wanted to ensure that we provided a place where they can learn with similar abilities, but also really train some of these coaches. So we made a 6-week program tailor-made to girls. They get to learn to land, to tackle, to be tackled, and to warm up safely. And this is the same program across the country. So no matter if you're in the North Island or the South Island, you will get a similar experience. We also centrally are developing the coaches. They learn about injury prevention, all of the latest research, how to deliver the program, and also coaching craft as well. Getting rugby coaches to drop all of their jargon as well has not been an easy task, and we have tried to strip out all of that kind of traditional rugby language and make it really accessible and relatable to young girls. We also have a shared brand and identity, so this part was really important to me. We want to ensure that we have a trusted and recognised program. We know that mums in particular have a real fear of injury for their daughters and boys to play rugby. So we wanted to ensure that this program, it looks the same, feels the same across the entire country, that we can help build credibility, a mana and trust behind that program. So it all needed to look the same. We provided crash mats, we provided flags, we provided merch, we provided mouth guards, goodie bags, central landing site, all of the social media assets all look the same and are all being used by the provincial unions. We also wanted the program to be evidence-based, so we've ensured that we've used research and the latest research to design the program, but we also had AUT come and check its effectiveness. So they ran it through the pilot with us, and that was through a mix of parent interviews, player interviews, coach interviews, and pre and post surveys. And what we learned from that pilot was that it absolutely increased the confidence of the girls. So pre and post program, we saw around a 50% increase in confidence, in landing, tackle, and ball carry, and as you can see there, a very high recommendation rate from both the coaches, the players, and the parents as well. That qualitative data I've got summarised in a nice video for you. Rather than me telling you, you can hear from the girls themselves. So.
My name is Amberly Lily Fonasio.
And my name's Peyton George. How did we feel when we first joined Contact Ready? I felt nervous, scared, never played rugby before.
For me, I didn't feel scared or nervous. I felt a little bit less confident in myself because I haven't played rugby in a while.
Key thing.
My name is Amberly Lily Fonasio.
And my name's Peyton George. How did we feel when we first joined Contact Ready? I felt nervous, scared.
Third time lucky. Well, we're just finding that video. I'll just let you know some of our next steps. So we, yep.
My name is Amberly Lily Fonasio.
And my name's Peyton George. How did we feel when we first joined Contact Ready? I felt nervous, scared, never played rugby before.
For me, I didn't feel scared or nervous. I felt a little bit less confident in myself because I haven't played rugby in a while.
Key things that I have learned are sing, tuck, roll. I thought there was just one way, you just flop over, but I learned that's really important. Shoulder contact, just never knew that was a thing.
This sport isn't just for boys. This program is made for girls and it'll show you how to be confident in rugby.
What I'd say to any girl who wants to do this program is just do it. I've learned so much. It's so informative, and having this is just
women empowerment in this sport, which I'd really like to see in the future. So it's really nice.
Aren't those two amazing? Like, I want to hire them in the next 5 years. I was like, we will keep their names. Everything they were saying, we were just like, oh my goodness. Such wonderful two girls there, both from really different backgrounds in rugby as well. So our next steps for this program is to evolve it, to keep enhancing it and to scale it. It's a very boutique program, if you like. We only take 30 girls at a time. It's not about quantity, it's about quality, and it really is around safety. So we're trying to figure out how we can run more programs but still retain that integrity of it being a safety program. And also, watch this space, we are looking at making a scrum ready. So that's us. Thank you.
Emily joked that if there was a tech issue, could she get a little bit more time? So I'm not quite sure who the gremlin was that did that, but well done. I think it's really incredible to actually see when you hear the girls going, it's about fun, it's about skills, but actually the incredible amount of mahi and work that goes in behind that to get the girls to that space is really quite inspiring. So thank you, Emily, for sharing the program. Next up, we have got Laura Thompson, and I think she's also going to bring Cam up from Athletics New Zealand to talk about mahi, which is a really powerful platform that is really changing the way that clubs, schools and parents can engage with the resources that are available to them. So thank you. We're looking forward to hearing from you, Laura.
Kia ora, everybody. Do I push this? Oh. So I'm Laura Thompson. I'm the CEO of mahi. We started this company maybe 3 years ago and launched this platform 10 months ago. So I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of what that process has been like, some of the things that we've learned along the way, and then the impact that this platform has had around the country so far. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, so there's been a few different learnings in there along the way. At its core, mahi is designed to improve the lives of disabled people, and so that is where our heart of this entire project always sits. We probably do it in a different way to most people. We work to infiltrate in the mainstream sector to change everybody's responsibility towards inclusion and responsibility towards giving disabled people an equitable and valid experience in all sport, movement and PE across the country. So that's where it sits for us. We've got a pretty small team. There is myself. I do everything in the company from toilet cleaning through to feeding the dog, through to all the meetings as well. We then have Will Finlayson and his company Digital Stock involved. Will is also my partner. This project is kind of 60% social impact for Digital Stock and 40% happy wife, happy life. So he's been building software since he was 14 years old. They run a really big tech company with a product in the electrical sector, and then they do this project as part of their passion for their work in software and seeing what software can do as a social change kind of product. They're also the biggest financial backer of the system currently, so we're really lucky to work with such a great tech company who are so willing to want to give back and have some social impact. And then we have Emma Foy. Emma Foy is also sitting over here as well. Emma Foy is also a full-time professional athlete, the New Zealand paracycling team, selected for the Commonwealth Games last week. Yes. Yay! Emma leads all the adaptation content and is very passionate about changing the lives of disabled tamariki around the country. So Emma and I competed in one Paralympic Games together. I'm very proud New Zealand Paralympian, so I went to 2 Paralympic Games, London and then Rio, and that was kind of where this platform came from. We're a little bit unapologetic in our desire for systems change and being a little bit disruptive in the sector. And it was actually Will, because he's built so many tech platforms along the way, he said to me early on, if you want to be disruptive, The way that we do it in technology is you know that you've built the right product when the system hates it and your users love it. And so that's always been in my core as well, because if you want to disrupt a system, it never feels nice for people because nobody likes change and nobody actually likes to do things differently. So you've got to be prepared to kind of feel that as well. But if your users love what you're putting out, then you know that you're solving a true problem for them. So I've kind of carried that along this journey as well. Which then brings me to the fact that when you're doing that work, you then start to attract other people that are really innovative, really passionate about their work as well. And so we're very, very lucky to work with some really amazing partners around the country and use software to elevate their mahi and the work that they do on the ground. So Athletics New Zealand came on board as our first partner in the platform. We host all of their Get Set Go Run Jump Throw content for schools and clubs around the country. We have Education Outdoors New Zealand in the platform as well, so Fiona's been a day one supporter of the platform too. We work with Kore Collab, who bring Atua Matua into the platform. We're extremely privileged and honoured to work with them and bring Atua Matua into the space. We've recently got some funding from Whaikaha, the Ministry of Disabled People, to build in some more Atua Matua content and also bring some more Parako-based adaptation content for our tangata Whaikaha tamariki around the country, so we're really excited about that piece of work as well. We also have functional adaptive movement in the platform as well, and we're bringing on new partners and stuff as we go. So our platform is ever only as good as the content that's within it. So yeah, we're really honoured to elevate the mahi and work of all of these organisations around the country. Developing this product has been quite the journey. What we built as a prototype is a very long way away from what we ended up launching. And so that just has come from like a really deep obsession with our users and understanding what they want and what they need and what their problems actually are. And we always build for users. So I work with teachers all the time. Usually I go for the most unconfident teacher that's probably the least willing to step into that space, because that's kind of the areas that we really want to have our impact in. So we built a prototype a couple of years ago, tested it, completely changed the entire project, and then did another small pilot and then launched the entire product 10 months ago. I'm skipping this bit. So a little of the fun part is the impact that we've had. So bearing in mind that we probably operate on about 1.6 FTE, so there's me full-time, Emma doing around 5 hours a week. Will works full-time in his tech company and then usually builds this at night when he gets home from work when I say, please, please, please. And so we have reached nearly 50% of New Zealand primary schools have signed up to the platform. Over 900 schools, 100 early childhood centres, and then 100 athletics clubs who've signed up as well. We've had over 22,000 scheduled activities through the calendars, which still just absolutely blows my mind. Just yesterday coming here, 107 activities were planned into teachers' and coaches' calendars around the country, which every day I'm still amazed at how much people actually get on and use it. Just in the last few weeks, we've had over 2,000 activities printed, 400 worksheets printed, over 140,000 page views, over 45,000 activity views, teachers and coaches actually looking at activities. And one of the beautiful parts about it is that it's the rural isolated areas around the country that are using the platform the most, and that's where we're having the most impact. It's as far as the Chatham Islands, Stewart Island, Bay of Islands, all the islands are signing up. And yeah, some of the big usage spots are in those really isolated areas. We've got 60% of Kuta Kaupapa schools signed up around the country as well. And yeah, we're just really proud and excited to keep working on this platform and keep having impact and elevating all the amazing work that gets done around New Zealand. And so now I'm just going to introduce you to Cam, and he's going to give the perspective of an NSO coming on board this journey with us and being involved. So kia ora, thank you everyone.
Thank you. I've got 30 seconds, so I'll make this really quick because we've had the hard word. But look, firstly, just working with Laura has been amazing. This came at a really opportune time for us. We've got amazing fundamental school movement programs that are fully adaptive, but we didn't have any scale and reach. So that's what this platform has enabled us to get scale. And then we've also been able to develop some really strong commercial outcomes from it. So we have a strategy around delivering our programs in ECEs. We've got a commercial program around that. And more importantly, we've been able to monetize this asset. So we now have a major bank that's just signing on as a naming rights partner for the sponsorship. So not only has it given us positive impact in terms of providing our coaches and our teachers with better tools, equipped them to particularly deliver adaptive, but also better quality. But we've also been able to monetize that through commercial partnerships. So yeah, Laura's been incredible. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura, and I know it is really hard to stick to 7 minutes when you have got such amazing mahi to talk about. And it brings back memories. I can see Val in the room of Get Set Go days when we're up there stamping and getting the kids going. So yeah, there is a great opportunity to chat to Laura and Cam a little bit more about their mahi. The second category that we are going to share some work from is the diversity and inclusion category. And this category really recognises system change. And it's really a very, very inspiring place to be when we are enabling all tamariki and rangatahi and all people across Aotearoa to participate regardless of ability or disability. So we have got 2 finalists to share their stories tonight. We are going to initially start with Whenua Iti Outdoors, who are going to share some mahi around a camp that they have done for young rangatahi with amputees, who are amputee young people. Amazing story. So I will pass over to Mark Bruce Miller to share this piece of work. Thank you.
Tuhia ki te rangi, tuhia ki te whenua, tuhia ki te nokoa no tangata. Ko te amenui, ko te aroha. Tihei, mauri ora. Tēnā te mihi kia koutou katoa, ko Mark Bruce Miller ahau, ko te kairahi o te kaupapa whakatipu o Whenua Iti Outdoors. Kia ora everyone, pleasure to be able to talk to you today. My name's Mark. I have the very real pleasure of leading the team at Whenua Iti Outdoors, and opportunity to talk to you today about a very special project that we've been running over the last 3 years now. A little bit about us. We're a not-for-profit based just outside Motueka in Te Tuihua Te Waka o Maui in the top of the South Island. We work with about 4,500 to 5,000 participants every year from age 5, our youngest tamariki, right up to in the adult space. The commonality across all of our programming is we're doing whatever we can to connect our next generation to te taiao, to the natural world, to the natural environment around us. Why? For the benefit of their well-being, and ultimately for the long-term benefit of te taiao. We're a team of 34 right now, and this year is our 40th birthday. So we're excited to be able to celebrate along with our founder, this lady, Whaia Hazel Nash, who, as a disillusioned school teacher 40 years ago, decided to set up an organization that allowed everyone to succeed, that allowed us to create platforms for success when otherwise we're at risk of telling our rangatahi they're failing. Unfortunately, the mainstream system is very good at that and getting better at that year on year. We do all we can to celebrate diversity and inclusion, including the diverse ways in which we learn and in which we engage. So this project, the Limb Difference Club, was put out in association with the Top of the South Amputee Association. They call themselves the Stump Club. They call themselves the Stump Club. And they approached us 3 years ago and said to me, could we run a limb difference camp for youth amputees? And initially, I took it to our safety and program manager, who's responsible for health and safety and logistics, and he looked at me like I was from a different galaxy. But we came to the conclusion, if we don't do this, no one else will. And that's the approach we take in all of our work. So working with some amazing people, we were able to put together the Stump Club camp, first in 2024, then again in 2025, and now again in December 2026, the third iteration of the Stump Club will go ahead. With particular thanks to inspiring people like Liam Malone and Holly Robinson, who we saw earlier, who came along in support. We only needed to ask them once, and they said, yep, we'll be there. It turned out for us to be a lot of learning along the way. By taking the approach of how can we and how could we, we were able to work with an amazing team of instructors to put together an experience that far surpassed my expectations. And a very difficult one to put together because a youth amputee may be missing an arm, or they may be missing a leg, or it may be 2 legs, or it may be 2 arms. So to plan for that is very, very hard until you actually know what's going to come along on the day. But the approach of being adaptable and flexible has seen us through. Probably better that you hear from some of the participants that came along on the camp as well. So there is a short video I'm going to show you now that illustrates the power of their experience with us last year. This is them.
It's been really inspiring to see the other kids with the confidence that they have in their abilities. Has been awesome.
The National Youth Amputee Camp is back for the 2nd year, and it is amazing to be welcoming them back.
I think this camp just means everything. For them to see another amputee or limb different child doing something that they've told themselves, oh, I can't do that, or I won't be able to do that, they actually will then give it a go. Yeah, I've chatted to a few of the kids, so we had some conversations last night, asked them like what they've enjoyed so far, and it's all different. Like some of them love the fact that they're camping for the first time, some of them love movie night, others love that they've all just got out there and played cricket. To just bring them together and know that they've got that support, it's just an amazing feeling.
To see how much kids with limited, what we would look at as limited abilities, how much they actually can do. To see my son's confidence grow in the last 24 hours has been amazing.
Kind of in life, it feels like you're the only one with a limb difference. Giving it a go makes, it's just so fun if you give it a go.
Even for me as a parent, it's been nice reconnecting with other families who actually understand.
Oh, it was so much fun because you could choose if you want to go fast, medium or slow.
We got to jump in and it was cool and nice.
I like the paddle boards. It's really cool to see people thing that they have missing or what's different about them.
You don't really feel like you're different. You feel like you're kind of the same.
What I think the biggest takeaways are that my son has taken away from the camp is new friendships, of course, but probably more importantly, actually an acceptance of himself and does not have a care in the world in many ways. It's really refreshing to see. We've been waiting for that for a long time.
It's been awesome to connect with people from different parts of the country and a little bit similar but different journeys as well, and just being able to share some information with each other as well, talking about other opportunities for other things. Definitely feels like we're in it together kind of thing.
The kids are made to feel really normalised in this environment because they are normal kids, but it's nice for them to just feel that way.
If I was standing in front of a funder, I would say invest in something that's forever versus short term. Yeah, it's the real long term and lifelong. So yeah.
Get behind this camp, send your kids to this camp, come and enjoy the community and what we have to offer because there are amazing people here.
So I've got 30 seconds, it seems. Mihi to Top of the South Amputee Association for pulling this camp off for 2 years running. They have run sausage sizzles, they've done everything they can to raise a very significant amount of money to bring these children from all around Aotearoa to Te Tuihu. There's a delicious irony, maybe a little bittersweet irony, that we're here as an awards finalist at Sport New Zealand, which we're very, very appreciative of. But to find funding for this program has been well nigh impossible. Hey, but there's always this year, and we're running it again in December. Nō reira. To finish, tēnei te korero ki a koutou, I say to everyone, ha pātia te aratika pūma wai te rangatiratanga mō ngā uri whakatepu. Let us work together to foster the pathway of strength, knowledge and independence for the future generations. Kia ora.
Thanks, Mark. That was really, really amazing. And if we think about we are here to help young people thrive through physical activity, that video we could all just rest now. Our last, Our last participant who's going to tell us about the Diversity and Inclusion Award was actually the award winner. So that's why I sort of was going, oh, Hussein, how am I going to introduce you? From New Zealand Football, they've done an amazing program that has enabled a much broader group of young people to be involved in football in this country. And Hussein has been leading that piece of work. So I'm going to ask him to now come and share his story around their award.
Talo whalawa kia rana, malo a lelei, whakalawhalahi atu, bula vanaka, and kia ora, warm Pacific greetings. My name is Hussein Hanif, Diversity Inclusion Manager at New Zealand Football. New Zealand is home to the largest Pacific population in the world, and Pacific communities are increasingly shaping the future of our nation. The question for New Zealand Football became simple. Does our game truly reflect the communities we serve? The Pacific and Community Football Project was a response to that question. On the back of co-hosting the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in Aotearoa, New Zealand Football partnered with the Ministry for Pacific Peoples to understand that. Disclaimer, this project is about planting a seed. I acknowledge we're on a journey of change and we're not experts. But if one person today could take away a learning this morning, we've done our job in educating others along the way. New Zealand is home to more than 400,000 Pacific peoples, the largest Pacific population in the world. While Pacific communities contribute significantly to football, their representation and leadership and decision-making has not reflected the participation. We knew football needed to do better, so we asked ourselves a simple question: what barriers are preventing inclusion? Now, participation alone does not equal inclusion. Communities told us that participation alone was not enough. Barriers included cultural safety, affordability, representation and connection to the Pacific values. The challenge was creating a stronger sense of belonging. Rather than assume solutions, we chose to listen first. Working alongside the Ministry for Pacific Peoples, New Zealand Football conducted a national talanua process. For those who may not be familiar, talanua is a Pacific culturally appropriate way of knowledge sharing. We engaged 208 participants across Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. The talanua helped us listen, learn and build trust before taking action. And what communities shared with us became the foundation for everything that followed. The one talanua participant in the room said, never thought I would shape the future of Pacifica football in New Zealand. That became the goal, creating football with communities, not for them. Communities gave us 4 clear messages. Representation matters, culture matters, leadership matters, and more importantly, they wanted to be partners in creating solutions. These insights became the foundation for our Pacific and Community Football framework. Historically, many programs have been delivered to communities. We shifted from delivering programs to communities to building programs with communities. Co-design and Pacific values became central to our approach. We recognize inclusion starts internally. Before asking communities to trust us, we needed to strengthen our own cultural capability. We were able to support 5 Yavu, Pacifica Cultural Competency workshops delivered by the Ministry for Pacific Peoples, involving 45 or more staff across our football federations and New Zealand football staff as well. This helped strengthen our understanding for Pacific cultures and improve our ability to engage authentically with our communities. Inclusion became everyone's responsibility, and not just inclusion became everyone's responsibility, not just the responsibility of one program. We invested in leaders who can influence football's future, not just participate in it. Our National Pacifica Leadership Program supported emerging leaders from across the motu to develop governance, leadership, decision-making skills, and the program created opportunities for Pacifica voices to influence football beyond the playing field. This is where representation begins to create long-term system change. We also introduced a national Pacifica Coach Developer Network. This was unique in the sense that we looked at our current frameworks of coach development and we brought in the Pacifica values. As a result, Pacifica participation in community football coach education increased by 97%. Community football festivals in Auckland and Wellington engaged over 500 players and attracted over 4,000 attendees. These were not just football events, they were celebrations of culture, identity, and belonging. From 2024 to 2025, we achieved 8% growth in Pacifica population participation, 10% growth in female participation, and 97% growth in coach engagement. These results demonstrate that culturally responsive approaches can significantly improve both participation and leadership outcomes. But most importantly, outcomes cannot always be measured through statistics. The greatest impact is belonging. More Pacifica players, coaches, referees, and leaders now see themselves reflected in the game and its future. Our focus now is ensuring this momentum continues. Looking ahead, we will continue to expand leadership programs, strengthen regional delivery, and embedding cultural capability throughout football. This work aligns directly with a key pillar of New Zealand football's new strategic direction, 2026 to 2035, which is to make football the most inclusive sport in New Zealand and increase diversity at all levels of football. The journey is just only beginning, but we have now planted the seed. Our aspiration is simple: a football system where Pacifica communities are represented at all levels and helping shape the future of the game. To finish, I'd like to share a video from our National Pacifica and Leadership Programs. Whaafatai, lava, thank you.
We have always been here, but we are now the future to take it even further forward.
With our partnership with the Ministry for Pacific Peoples, we saw an opportunity around leadership in coach developers, so developing more Pacifica coach developers across the country. And then today we have our leadership program in terms of Pacifica leaders from across the country who are in leadership positions, whether in club, community, coaching, and they are here today to learn new skills around leadership, but being in a Pacifica way.
During the Talanoa series, we talked about how there was not a lot of numbers of Pacifica players throughout the country, and I guess I went on this course just because I wanted to increase the numbers in my community and really just make it more visible for communities that aren't quite in the competition, because it would be good to see more people like me.
To actually be a part of something and to start is an opportunity that I'm really excited about. This is a program that's going to allow us to have more Pacifica come through, but also see it for Pacifica needs. These spaces may have not been available in the past, but we now have a chance to come together, to talanoa, to share.
When you're dealing with Pacifica people, there's a spiritual element of connection. And so I felt coming here, I knew I would have to awaken some of my past memories and thoughts of my time back in Niue. And so it's been such a healing journey, because then you're talking with other Pacifica people who talk about the love for the Pacific Ocean. They talk about how we are voyagers and that we're navigators, and it's just really nice to be able to have that talanoa together and be able to share a lot of our stories that make us connected as people.
We can use this forum as a starting point to bring together the peoples from around the Motu, and that in itself will encourage the growth of Tangata Pasifika into the sporting fields of football, not only football but different sports altogether, and that is the visibility that we're looking at today. We have always been here, but we are now the future to take it even further forward.
The first part is getting us on the field, getting our kids on the field, but the second part is building up leadership as well in terms of coaching roles, getting on boards, getting on committees, and really pushing out, being proud of our heritage and really pushing it in the boardroom. And we've got a real good age range here. We've got a young 18-year-old who's still at Liston College, and then there's the older brigade like us who have started to do the work, but we can also pass down to these guys who are looking, 18 years old, and they're already thinking about serving their communities and their schools, and that's awesome. That's the next generation. They're the ones who are going to carry the good work on.
Kei taku rangatira tēnā koe o tira, mōrena tātou. Ko uru me mato taku e ngoa no Ngāti Porou me te whānau apanui. Kei Sport New Zealand ahau e mahi ana, hei kai whatu mano orite. He honore nui tēnei, te whakatairangi ēnei o ngā rōpu erua e whai mai nei. It really is an honour and a privilege to be able to present two of the organisations from last night's awards, two of the finalists from last night's awards. For the Jim Maniapoto Memorial Award, Excellence for Māori Participation as Māori. The first organisation turns the prow of my waka tū te Waunui o Tiriwa to the lands of Te Kawarau Āmaki. Kei reira tēnei rōpu e noho ana e mahi ana. It is there that this organisation resides and works in its many communities of West Auckland. Nā reira, paki mai rā, ho mai rā te paki, kia Dave George no Tuia Waitākere.
Kia ora tātou, ko nonga taha te maunga, ko rotoro te roto, ko tangata tiriti te iwi, ko Tuia Waitākere ahau mahi ana, ko kaiwhakahaere mātua taku tūranga, ko David George tōku ingoa, that's my name. So before I start, I just want to very quickly acknowledge obviously all of the finalists. It's my understanding there was 80 applications, 80 nominations. So to kind of be here is just 6, but also for everyone that kind of won awards last night, I think having 80 projects profiled, but obviously, I mean, how many else are there out in the community is really, really cool. So I'm really humbled to stand here as one of that kind of significant group. Before I start, I've probably come at this ever so slightly differently in terms of this is a kaupapa built over many years, much like all of them, I'm sure. However, this is more maybe about the journey that got us to this point, and there's some kind of outcomes that have come. I'm standing here today on behalf of Te Kawarau Āmaki, the iwi of West Auckland, mana whenua. West Auckland they call hikurangi, so I'm going to call it hikurangi for the remainder, but I'll probably slip. But anyway, let's do a quick video. Click. start. We, many years ago, sat down with Te Kaurau Āmaki just to grow the relationship and really basically just to listen. What is it that their aspirations are? And one of the things we realised really quickly was that actually in the treaty claim settlement with the Crown in 2015, this is actually Te Kaurau Āmaki's rohi as recognised by that. So we're this little hikurangi just down in the corner there, West Auckland. However, we're working with an iwi that actually has much more significant reach across the area. But we learnt a whole bunch more, and this is a wee bit of a bleak bit of reading, but I'm sure you've all seen this before. These are all the things that they're telling us about, the reasons why things are, haven't gone so well for them, even to the point that 90% of their tribal lands were taken from them within 15 years of the signing of the treaty. Te Kaurau Āmaki are one of the few significant iwi nationally who don't have a marae. So their marae was taken from them many years ago when the Waitakere Dam was built, so we're talking the 1900s. So I'll come on to that a little bit later. But these things about kind of land loss, these things about urban sprawl and urbanisation have meant that as kind of the, I guess, Tāmaki, Makaurau, etc. started to grow, their people have started to disperse. So in hearing all these things, we were like, well, where can we support or where can we help? So Hioranga Potama ki Tāmaki Makaurau at the time came up with this kaupapa called M to M. So apologies if this is a national Hioranga Potama, but I definitely know this is we work with actually with Wiramu and maybe Dario and a few others who are in the room around this kaupapa. But M2M was basically a reconnection of marae to moana to maunga. So I guess if you think about how do iwi reconnect with their kind of places of being, and it might just be maunga to moana, could they walk it, could they do all these various types of things. But we thought, okay, well, how do we turn that into something that might bring back some of those pūrākos? So obviously, in the first instance, we worked with our friends at Te Kaurau Āmaki, whereby we understood that these pūrākos, so these stories of their ancestors, these sacred stories, one of the big things we wanted to do was capture them so that in hundreds of years' time, those pūrākau, despite urbanisation and sprawl and all the rest of it, they would stay on a digital format. And then we used this theory of marae to, or M2M, to make that into a physical journey. So we used Tipo Theatre, a local organisation who basically curated some of those stories that we got from Te Kaurau Āmaki. Papaya Stories, who helped us turn that into a bit of a narrative. So basically the journey that you go on with Active Whakapapa is we take you to one of two sites, or they take you to one of two sites in West Auckland. You put on some headphones and you walk for about 2 hours and you learn about the history of the place. But the person you're hearing from is one of the kuia, so it's literally one of the grandmothers from the iwi telling you these stories of how they used all of the various I guess te taiao and te koka, and that's a food source, and also it's used for storage and hunting and fishing and all these things. And then Time Unlimited are an organisation who've done a variety of various hikoen things around various spots in Tāmaki Makaurau and across the country, I believe. So they helped us actually set up the walk. So how can we make this happen? So for anyone that's had the privilege to go overseas, if you go to like Rome or whatever it might be, and you walk around the Colosseum and you put your headphones on, you go to point 1 and it says, hey, this is what happened. This is theoretically the same thing, however it's in a really local context in West Auckland. So a few of the outcomes. Firstly, that we've now got hours of legacy pūrākau recordings, stories of rongoa, so how the environment was used for medicine, all of these kind of things which they will never lose now because they're functionally sitting in a digital format. There's a direct reconnection with the land of their tūpuna, so not only do you hear the stories, you can put your feet on the land and you can see the bush, you can touch the things that actually the iwi, was so central to their being. The other thing is it's now created employment opportunities. So just in the last year alone, they've managed to bring in about $300,000. So they're now employing people within the iwi that can run this kaupapa. So it's becoming really self-sufficient. as we said before, the accessibility of these, and that's a huge credit to Te Kawerau Amaki, is that they came at it and saying, yes, we want to hold these pūrākau and these stories and this journey for our people, but also we want to share this with the world. So they immediately lent into the local histories curriculum, I think it's called. And just in 2025, 40 local kura, 700 tamariki and 1,100 participants, a few corporates as well coming through and doing it where they can make a bit of money from. So there's also been wider iwi interest, which is really cool. So Ngāi Tahu and Te Aroa have actually come up and done the work because they want to take that idea back to their rohi. So sharing the love. And I guess the most important thing for us, which I just think is absolutely amazing, is this kaupapa is now all theirs. Our job in the start was to have that conversation. Where can we sit in and support as tangata tiriti and go, well, how do we uplift you? With a view that once we got it to a point where we could hand it back, we would. So this is entirely their kaupapa. All of the investment, all of the employment opportunities, all of these stories, it's all theirs and they get to keep that forever. So that's a real kind of cool thing that we've been able to hand that back. So what's next? Firstly, just a plug, like I said before, that's a link to their Give a Little page, feel free to take a picture. This is the, I talked to you about they don't have a marae. So this is now their marae plan. So they got, I think they got resource consent in 2023. They're looking for a cool $15 million. So if anyone's got a few dollars, click the link or go on the QR code. But as you can see there, that's where they're going to be, there's going to be kaumatua living. They're going to be growing kind of kai. It's right in Tihinga, so right in their kind of heartland of their kainga, and all the, the daffodils will be growing there and all the rest of it. So that's exciting for them, and we're getting right in behind that and trying to figure out actually how do we bring in a bit of play, a bit of takoro. And if you want to learn anything more about Active Whakapapa, they now have the website. So this is how you find out a bit more about it. This is how you can book to go on it, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess ultimately, like I say, the biggest thing for us is that we've created an opportunity now where, as a mainstream organisation, we stepped into a relationship with mana whenua just to hear, just to listen. Like, what is it? What are your aspirations? What are your pain points? And in learning all of those things, we found out actually here's a sweet spot where we can support. And this is a 15-year journey. This doesn't happen overnight, but here we are with a really kind of like amazing relationship whereby not only can we give them this tonga, or give them their own tonga really, but put it in a way where they can use it and make money from it basically, but also now we're helping them with the marae. Anyway, kia ora, tātou.
Kia ora, Dave. Tuia Waitakere organisation, very dear to my heart. Spent quite a lot of time there in the Hioranga Pautama program. My proverbial waka now turns to Taupo Nui Atia and to Taupiri Maunga, he piko he taniwha. It was there 28 years ago that the first hui was held for an organisation now known as Māori Touch NZ. Nā reira hūro mai, paki mai, kia Māori Touch NZ.
Tēnā koutou katoa. Ko hukarangi te maunga ko Waiapu te awa, ko Haraute te waka, ko Ngāti Porou te iwi. My maunga locates me geographically in the world. It's not going to move. My awa is a sustenance of life, water. My iwi Ngāti Porou, I'm related to them all by blood, whether they like it or not. And my marae tuatini identifies my whānau. All Māori kids should have the right to know that. And that was the genesis of Māori Touch. Māori Touch really started from a dark place where touch had become synonymous with alcohol. Sponsorship kept our clubs open during the off-season, but as time went on, it became a part of touch, alcohol. And we were really concerned. Parents, we played touch every night of the week. We refed, we coached, we managed, and our kids were playing alongside us. And we were really concerned. So we kind of held a hui in Taupō. No such thing as Facebook. We just hoped people would turn up. And about 40 people turned up. And we made a big list of what do we want.
And we wanted iwi hapu development. We wanted our kids to know who they were. We wanted to be well, hauora, no alcohol, no smoking. We wanted our tikanga, our haka, our waiata to be part of every day. We wanted to be professional, tika. We weren't going to chase the cows off the paddock and play. We wanted it to be done well. We wanted to have a rangatahi focus. At that one hui, we put a po in the ground. We were going to have a tournament in 6 months' time. Gerard at the time was a Heronga Potama person. He was doing a business degree at university at the same time. So constitutions, development plans, annual plans, financial management, he was doing as part of his learning at university, and so that's how it was all configured. At that one hui, we even came up with a name. And he went to Waikato Tainui. They just received Hopu Hopu as part of their treaty settlement. And part of their dream was to have Hopu Hopu as a place for Māori sport. So Māori Touch was blessed at Taupiri Maunga. And we used to gather hui ātau and we'd share. Someone came up with a template of how you did a muster. Someone came up with a financial management plan. Someone came up with, how you manage your teams. And so we shared. We built capability amongst ourselves. So we held our first Māori Touch for 15 years at Hopu Hopu, and then Te Arawa, Ngāti Whakaue, they asked for tono, and we spent the last 10 years in Rotorua. However, when we implemented, as Harley said last night, Tamariki Touch, we returned to Hopu Hopu for the second time in our second tournament. It was like returning home, like being overseas for 10 years and coming home. But in that time, Waikato Tainui have upgraded their fields, they've upgraded their thing. I know you're seeing all the images, but you'll see the images of Hopu Hopu and them upgrading as well. And but the kaupapa had stayed the same in all that 25 years, those things in that list. But what had been added was social media. We must be the most connected people in the world, Māori, I was over social media. By the time the pōhiri had finished, the world knew by the time he'd finished a cup of tea. So we've got these guys that are just so proficient. They take all these images, all these videos, and in real time, our whānau all around the world was able to see their own. And so when it came to Rohe being able to get sponsorship, etc., people already knew who they were. And it's become, easy is not the word, but accessible to sponsor because of the social media. We form partnerships as Māori Touch, and I just want to recognise my colleagues from Te Huinga Tākaro here today over the last couple of days. Through Te Huinga Tākaro, we have a partnership with ACC around their messaging. So the messaging around injury prevention and post-care for injuries is in Rutoria, Te Hāpua, Hāwera now, where access was, challenging for that. Whakaata Māori, they've got a YouTube channel. I didn't even know about this, but YouTube channel. We supply the content, the commentators. They supply the cameras, the scaffolding, the expertise. Everyone in the world sees our touch games, and it's cost neutral. Merchandising. We tried for years to get our kids out of black American singlets. We tried for years. They wear the stuff every day now, loud and proud. So our future, our iwi rohe are now run by our rangatahi. Tākoha Rōpati, Ngāti Hene. If you play for Ngāti Hene, you are going to go to Ruapekapeka and learn around Kawati and his strategy for beating the British, because that's the strategy for beating the opposition on the touch field. If you play for Ngāti Parau, Te Aorere Pēthairangi, you are going to practice at Tukumare Bay on the beach. pay for Ngāti Porou, you have to go home. Doesn't matter where you live, you go home to play. Waitākere Māori, so tēnā koutou te kawarau maki, around Hone Waititi. Graham and Moi Paniora. They are running a Te Reo Māori module. They've got their young ones who aren't as good as touch learning to be referees in Te Reo Māori. They've normalised Te Reo Māori and touch. They came to the Māori Touch Nationals. I don't think there was anyone left in Waitākere. They were all there. So that's our future. And so those images really were just a capture of our kids being able to be Māori through the game of touch. And we are eternally grateful. And just my final few words, and I've gone less than 7 minutes. A final few words are from Tupuna from Ngāti Hine, Sir James Henare. You know, we've come too far not to go further, and we've done too much not to do more. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa.
Taguranga tira tēnā koe. O tira, Māori Touch NZ, tēnā koutou katoa. Carol made mention of Tākoha Ropati, ex-Heoranga Pautama, worked out of Sport Waitākere at the time, now known as Tuia Waitākere. Also mentioned Te Aorere Pewhairangi from the beaches of Tokomaru Bay in Ngāti Porou. And of course, also playing for Ngāti Porou is Ruben Love from the Mighty Hurricanes. Anyway, he mihi atu anō kia koutou katoa. Just a huge thank you to all the presenters this morning, the finalists from last night. Kia kaha tonu rā koutou. Kia ke panuku, kia ke tangaroa, kia hara mai te toki o haumi e. Hui e, tai ki. I think I am being asked to we're going to go through a quick video of the finalists from last night as well. Tēnā koe, kia ora koutou.